We have a beautiful word for this. We call this engagement. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we talk about omnichannel, so we have the experience how to engage customers in real life situations in retail, physically, how to engage them. So now omnichannel is about engaging the customers in online. We need to perform, or we need to give the same kind of attraction for the customers to stay longer, to go deeper inside our web pages, and of course to get in the end the same experience that you get in the retail stores.
Hello, I'm Isabelita Castilho. I'm an executive career transition advisor. Welcome to the 4th episode of Coffee with Top Elite Executives. I'll be speaking to the creme de la creme, senior leaders and managers that have crossed my path along my career journey and truly impressed me based on their leadership skills and charisma. My goal and mission is to share with my audience insights and expertise that can be followed as a success formula. Today's guest is a senior international retail, omnichannel, and e-commerce leader who is fascinated with rebranding and turning around lagging business units and companies into exponential, profitable ventures. He has a background in managing supplier negotiations with high-profile clients from Poland, Czech Republic, Romania, Lithuania, Germany, Austria, France, Russia, China, India, and the Middle East. He was raised in the UK and he's a Polish citizen. Now I invite you to join me in welcoming Wojciech Janiak. Wojciech, first of all, thank you very much for being here today. It's a real pleasure to have you today in the show and wanting to share your time and advice and expertise with my community. Wojciech, you lived 9 years? You lived 9 countries across the world. That's a lot of diversity and multiculturalism. Why don't you start by telling the audience a little bit more about yourself and, how did you get to here and how did that all happen?
Hello, Isabelita, and thank you for inviting me to your show.
You're welcome.
Yes, well, when you mentioned this, the list keeps going and going, and I hardly believe that I've been in so many countries and have helped or worked with so many fantastic companies. Well, I think that it all began with let's say, my childhood, where I ended up as a small kid in London, and we've lived there with my family for maybe 10 years due to the situation, let's say, in Poland at that time. So, of course, I've studied in London in a multicultural school. So this environment sort of, let's say, helped me also to get around and to work across the world. So basically, I've been since the beginning of the transformation in Poland. I've been involved in building successful distribution models, basically in all retail organization, wholesalers, and international retail chains, own and franchise retail groups, and cash and carries. So it has been quite a big, let's say, quite a big experience, quite a life experience in all the distribution forms that have been, let's say, that are on the market.
Wow, that sounds really a vast experience, and that is really dynamic life. I no wonder why you lived in so many different countries, because there's so much that you probably have to offer anyway, that everybody needs a little bit of you for that. So Wojciech, I hear a lot about omnichannel those days, of course. And so there is e-commerce, and then there is some association to stock distribution. There's a lot of people in the community, they are very curious to understand a little bit more about those concepts. So how do you use omnichannel, and then how do you relate to e-commerce? And how do you optimize the stock, especially in the days of pandemic where it's so much stock in, and I'm sure you must make sure they go out very fast for cost reduction. So could you give an experience, walk us through that?
Okay, so well, my 25-year experience just shows me how the distribution, let's say, evolved. At the beginning, we had, let's say, the wholesale groups, and then we had small mama and papa retail shops, and then this whole changed to big retail chains that we call this modern trade distribution. So we then had two worlds. We had the retail world, and then we started to have the e-commerce world. Those were two apart, those were two separate worlds. So omnichannel basically is an experience in multi-channel approach to marketing, selling, and serving the customers in a way that creates an integrated, cohesive customer experience, no matter how or where the customer reaches out. So we combine the world of retail and we combine the world of e-commerce into one, let's say, world, and it's now called Omnichannel. So the same experience that you have in your e-commerce, you need to find in your retail, and the same experience that you find in retail, you need to find in e-commerce. So it's a now exciting world, and we live in basically one community and one, let's say, retail community, retail omni-channel world.
Wow, so this is how probably we live so much better those days, right? Because we able actually to, it's a little bit like a one-stop shop, quote unquote, for you to have access to several things that you need, whether it's a corporate world. Have you worked more directly with B2B or B2BC, or what was exactly the model that you worked with, that your experience is related?
Well, it's mainly to customers. So I ended up most of the time in distress, let's say, for situations where an investment fund or private investor bought a company, or they had a company which would experience quite a lot of, let's say, financial and concept problems. So my role in this world was to create a strategy to show them the way how to, let's say, move the business forward. And the main thing was to understand what actually the client needs, to reach out to the client needs. And of course, once bringing this, let's say, information to the company, to all the people that I've worked with, we started to develop the ideas. We started to develop how we should approach the customer, what kind of products we should buy. We understood, or we analyzed what kind of products we had on stock, because the problems which the companies has actually faced were that the products that they had in the stock in the warehouse did not expect the needs of the customer. So this problem piled up. It created financial problems because it's money frozen in the stock. So the first things that we have to do is we have to sell out, let go of the obsolete stock, or let go of the, let's say, of the old, wrong stock, low rotating stock. So we've pushed this out, and meantime we always work on the product assortment. We worked on the let's say, on the promotions. We worked mainly on the merchandising, how to present the product. So all those things were only created to make the customer and the end happy and having a fantastic experience in the shop, or in the, let's say, omni-channel environment.
Wow, that's really interesting. I can imagine that you must have faced some big challenges in this kind of function. Is there any example, any situation you can just briefly describe, so also help people understand, how do you mitigate this kind of problems, especially when it comes to anything related to facing degrees of traffic in stores, if anything related to that, and also in terms of value and turnover?
Well, traffic is one of the main, let's say, drivers of sales. I remember this experience that I had in Sephora, which we probably, let's say, all know this brand. It's a well-known cosmetic brand, and I had the pleasure to run.
Dubai, indeed, it's a very popular one of. I was there.
So I was, that's actually one of the experiences that I had in Dubai visiting Sephora. But I was running this company in Czech Republic. Many, we have to also know that Czech Republic and Prague is a very traffic-orientated country. So the sales also rely on a lot of, let's say, traffic coming from tourism. So we had a very, let's say, difficult situation because there was a flood at the beginning of the summer, and there was a lot of, let's say, traffic went away from the shop. So we need to find an idea how to drive traffic after, of course, the flood disappeared. How to drive traffic back to our stores. We need to realize the plans, we need to realize the sales budget. So one of the ideas that we came up with, and this was very unique for Sephora, this was really unique at that time for retail, we came up with an idea of retailtainment. The retailtainment was the idea to entertain the customers, inside the shop. So there was a lot of music around. There was a lot of makeup shows. There were a lot of gifts. There was, of course, food and drink. And the success of this, I mean, we saw that first of all, we need to show the customers that we are different from other competitors. So imagine yourself coming to a shopping center. So there's a let's say loud music playing in the shopping center. More or less all the, let's say, shops are the same, come in, come out. And then in the middle of the shopping center, you have Sephora and you have this big party inside. So naturally you want to go inside and you want to see what's happening, yeah? Then you go inside and you have a lot of fun. So basically you buy more products, and you test the products. So you come out with let's say, with a fantastic experience remembering about this. So this, of course, all helped us to drive, let's say, sales numbers and more, let's say, the higher value of the basket.
Yeah, you actually remind me the other day, I was actually brushing inside of a mall here in Dubai. And then I noticed something like this happening in one of the cosmetic shops. And I said, I'm not going to be tempted, but I was so curious and I was rushing. I said, I will quickly take a look. As soon as I went there, I got involved. I forgot what I had to do after that. When I realized I left them with a big bill, fat bill, and I have all those products now at home.
Yeah.
So
and we have a beautiful word for this. We call this engagement. Yeah. Okay. So when we talk about omnichannel, so we have the experience how to engage customers in real life situations, in retail, physically, how to engage them. So now omnichannel is about engaging the customers in online. We need to perform, or we need to give the same kind of attraction for the customers to stay longer, to go deeper inside our web pages, and of course to get in the end the same experience that you get in the retail stores.
Wow, it is very interesting. Now I think I understand much more about Omnichannel and what they do to us as consumers. Yes. What you people are doing to make us buy more.
Yeah, wow. We have all the data to understand how you behave through our CRM and through our loyalty programs.
Lovely. Thank you so much for sharing. I think now I'll be more aware of it and hopefully less tempted to consume cosmetics.
Yeah, you need to watch your wallet.
Yes, exactly. I'll leave at home. Very good. So now, Wojciech, one question in terms of advice for the community, right? So those who want to really stand out in omnichannel and e-commerce functions, and they want to bring an impact to their organization. So what would you recommend they should do, or if you can relate to any situations as well, so they can literally visualize and they can try to use as a success formula for themselves?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, first of all, what I would recommend is to start understanding the customer. I mean, it's like the main thing is to understand what he really needs. I had an experience with a distorted, let's say, situation back in Romania with a toy business. Yeah, so and it was a completely new category for me because I was in fashion previously, and I was in cosmetics, and then I got this assignment to go to Romania and to start a toy business and to work on a distracted, let's say, situation in a toy retailer. So I had no idea about the business. So first of all, I had to learn what the toy business is and so what the toy business is about. I needed to find a kid in myself, to really understand what kids really want, because toys is like fast fashion. Kids now, they get bored with toys after 7 days, maximum 2 weeks. So you need to provide more goods. So one of the ways, let's say, to understand what the consumer wants is, of course, to visit the customers, or not to visit the customer, but to visit the providers of the product, the producers. Yeah. So in this way, I was traveling to London, I was traveling to Hong Kong, I was traveling to China, I was traveling to Los Angeles to find all the ideas on the market. Yeah. Getting to know the suppliers, trying to understand what products are on the top. Then once you build a successful supply chain, when you build a successful portfolio of products, then it's the way to market those products. Yeah. So then you have the fantastic atmosphere which you need to create in your stores. Yeah. So we are talking about retail experience. Yeah. Then you need to transfer this experience into your online. And then behind all that, there's logistics, because it's very fast to deliver the products from online, from your iPad, from your telephone, let's say within even 1 hour. So you need to find a way on a supply to get the products very fast to your customers also.
So you'd say that definitely having an understanding, not only first doing your due diligence, seeing what is already working out there, benchmarking on the best practices, and also making sure that you're able to source. So I'd say suppliers, for sure, they must be reliable. They must be also competitive in terms of first quality and then prices. And of course, then ultimately, the logistics. Is that what I understand from you? So you must have the right logistics partners as well and identify the best that will give you the best also return on investment and hopefully profit for your shareholders.
Absolutely. Apart from that, there's also one aspect which is also very important is your IT providers or your technology providers. Without that, you cannot go any further. I mean, the technology changes so fast now that you always need to be updated and have all those, let's say, functions in your systems. I mean, I'm talking about all the functionality of the company. So we are talking from CRMs, we are talking from analyzing also the finance numbers, because there's a lot of information in your day-to-day activity and in day-to-day numbers. So we need to follow the traffic, you need to follow the numbers, the KPIs. So this is the business intelligence is also very important to understand and to rely on the numbers.
Lovely. Wow. Yes, I can imagine that's why your multicultural expertise and exposure is so important, because you're dealing with people from different worlds, different cultures, different perceptions about values, and having to manage all of this. So it's fascinating. Well, Wojciech, really, it's really amazing. Now, just before I go into my last question, could you tell the audience where they can find you if they want to connect with you, perhaps exchange some ideas? What's the best way to connect with you?
Well, as all the professionals, you can find me on LinkedIn. So I really urge to contact me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to give you advice, pro bono, of course, for your clients. So please reach out to on my LinkedIn profile.
Oh, I have a very privileged audience that, my guests are willing to share insights. I really appreciate that. That's really, really valuable to me. Thank you very much. Now we go to our last question. So Wojciech, if you were to look ahead in time, let's say 30 years from now, and you would like to look back in hindsight and think, wow, I have really made an impact, right? I really have left a legacy, and I will be leaving a legacy. So what would that be the impact? How would you like to have transformed people's lives?
Wow. So we are talking about a perspective of, I hope, 20, 30 years. So if I think about the legacy, I would say I would like to make an impact in people's life by facilitating their day-to-day living through technology, in which people would live better, happier, happy life, and the world would be a much more safer place and much more peaceful place, taking consideration what is happening right now.
Wow, this is really nice. That's really beautiful what you just said. Thank you very much for sharing. It's good to
have you so much
around. Thank you. So, well, Wojciech, I want to thank you so much for being here today. It's been really amazing having you in this show.
Thank you so much, Isabelita. It was a great pleasure to take part in your show, and hopefully we'll see each other in some other circumstances also.
I'm so certain. Thank you very much, Wojciech. I appreciate it.
So much.
So everyone, thank you so much for watching and being part of this community. We really hope, and I'm so certain you have enjoyed. And if you're ready to revamp your career with the insights shared by Wojciech Janiak, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel to get amazing insights from top elite executives across the world. And until next time, stay blessed.
Something that I never experienced in my life. So I had to find a kid in myself. It's like how to buy and how to build an assortment and wait. Okay.
Did you see this little thing popping up?
What?
There was a little somebody.
No. Whoa. I don't get it. I didn't see anything.
Sorry. There was a ghost, okay? And he was doing like this when you're talking, like in the screen. I will send you the video. I was like, please don't.
Hey, man, that's good luck. That's good luck.
Sorry, God.